These are the worst drivers of all time doing what they do best. Fuck it up.
What the f?
Ready?
Guys, these guys on the track are so stupid.
Buckle up for this one. Who doesn't love a driver who makes an impact? Especially when that impact is literal. Like that one time in Malaysia 2017. The race was done. Cars were crawling back to the pits. What could go wrong, right? Well, Mr. Strulovic still found a way to cause mayhem. Man wasn't even pushing, just cruising along when he forgot mirrors exist and casually collected Vettel on the cooldown lap.
Is that possible? Stroll is not looking where he's going. He completely shunted into my car. I mean, seriously.
Not in battle, not for position, just picking up rubber. Seb's rear suspension gets ripped apart. His Ferrari is limping, and he's standing there like, what the hell just happened? So what does a four-time world champ do? He hitched a ride back on Pascal Wehrlein's car. F1, the only sport where a four-time world champ ends the race like it's Uberpool. Lancey Boy, of course, claimed he was just minding his own line.
Vettel just ran right into the side of me.
The stewards? Yeah, they looked at it and went, you know what, this one's too stupid to blame anyone. No further action. Honestly, it looks like there's just something about Canadian drivers in F1 nowadays. They show up with maple syrup energy and then crash like they're late to Tim Hortons. Wanna guess what you get if you mix Nutella, money, and Canada? You don't get a race winner, you get Go-Tiffy.
You guys didn't see anything.
A man who went from anonymous backmarker to changing the outcome of the entire 2021 championship. Abu Dhabi, final laps, tension at 300%.
Turn 9 hairpin, oh and there Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton almost coming together. Hamilton has to go off the track, the Dutch fans.
And the Canadian, battling with Schumacher, makes a mistake and sends his Williams into the wall, like it personally insulted his family.
Oh no, Nicholas Latifi has crashed, and I think that is at turn 14.
Verstappen wins, Hamilton gets robbed, the FIA enters the shadow realm, and the internet detonates. Memes fly, conspiracies combust. And Nicky, he became the main character overnight. Not for winning, but for accidentally speedrunning the collapse of the most intense title fight in years. The backlash was brutal. Death threats, security, headlines. That would have broken most people, but he came back in 2022 saying he was fine. Spoiler, he wasn't. Saudi Arabia. On Friday, missiles were raining down just a few miles from the track. I told you not to take that thing too far. However, in the underground bunkers, the bigger concern? Latifi. And not satisfied with just binning it in qualifying, he shows up in the race too.
Because we've got a Williams into the barriers. And for the second day running, that Williams is Nicholas Latifi, and this could change.
Not even 2 races in, and he was already backed into a corner. So what now? First race back at Albert Park since the pandemic, and the track's had a glow up. New layout, faster corners, no forgiveness. And yeah, everyone was a little scrappy. Signs bouncing through grass.
Oh, but he's spun. This is turning into a horror show for Carlos Sainz. He's beached. That's it. And now a spin into the gravel.
I'm in the gravel. What can I do? Tell them to push me if they can.
Hamilton missing apexes. Our guy on the edge. Prepped to deliver his final lap. Or so we thought. 2 minutes to go. Stroll's creeping through sector 1. Eyes forward. Nicky lets him by. Clean. Chill. Then realizes, wait, Lance is not pushing. So he floors it to get the place back. And then, bam!
Oh, and there's a big one, and that is Latifi. I'm afraid again, a big moment for Nicholas Latifi.
Latifi comes through. Oh no!
Come
on!
Done.
My word!
No warning, no logic, just 2 maple leaves colliding. The culprits, each one blamed the other.
I don't understand what he was doing.
And even though Mr. Strulovic ended up with the penalty, this was yet another example of Go-Tiffy fucking up. And I just remembered in Japan, where he literally made his own racing line.
There. The car, that was strange. Anyways, I'm okay.
By mid-season, it was clear.
The big F1 news of the day that Nicholas Latifi will leave Williams at the end of the 2022 season.
We miss you, cowboy. Thanks for the memories and for always reminding us that sometimes the most impactful drivers don't even finish a race. Now, please don't go like Go Tifi. Stay with me and subscribe. You're going to enjoy it. By the way, now that Mr. Strulovic is on the equation, did you know who his bestie is? Yep, Esty Bestie, Mr. Ocon. Because, of course, the rich kid's emotional support driver is the one who turns every team garage into a war zone. And I know what you're gonna say. He's not a woe. What the fuck are you talking about, you baguette hater? Let me explain. I get it. Multiple podiums, even a race winner.
No one's challenging Ocon for the win now. Esteban Ocon is going to be a Grand Prix winner in Formula One. Ocon wins the Hungarian Grand Prix.
But the Frenchman's legacy isn't in stats. It's in scars. Ask Perez. Ask Alonso. Ask Gasly. Jesus, ask literally anyone who has to share a garage with him. Let's start with Force India. After Hülkenberg's exit, they wanted something fresh, something young, fast and familiar with a Mercedes power unit. For a moment, it looked promising. And then, Canada 2017 happened. Ocon, on fresher tyres, gets stuck behind Checo, who defends like his rent depends on it. Result? Vettel flies by. Podium, gone.
He's going to have a go. Sebastian Vettel down the inside on Sergio Perez. What a move again from the championship leader.
Then came Baku. Ocon sends it round the corner with zero pace. They crash. Belgium? The same, but scarier.
Go down and right on board with Ocon towards Eau Rouge, and once again they have touched. And for the second time in this race, the two Force Indians get too close together, and it is a puncture for Sergio Perez.
The team literally ended up triggering the nuclear option. And guess what? They still ignored it.
Two Force Indians together again. They're going wheel to wheel.
I got hit by Sergio badly.
This was the straw that broke the camel's back. From here on, heads were going to roll. The only question was, whose? And while they were wrecking each other on track, the team was collapsing off it. After being a reserve driver for Mercedes in 2019, he was looking for redemption in 2020. Renault summoned him back, and by his side, Danny Rick. Together, they rose. However, happiness simply didn't last. Ricciardo left, and Paella Man returned. Their relationship, it kind of felt like the one I had with my ex. Year 1, honeymoon. Year 2, breakup.
And the two Alpines going for it. Fernando Alonso almost in the wall, certainly in the dust, and still behind his teammate, Esteban Ocon.
Even after leaving the team, the pain still lingered.
Last year, oh, what is going on there?
He didn't see him coming, did he?
PTSD at its finest. Then Alpine, in their infinite wisdom, thought it'd be a good idea to pair Ocon with his childhood enemy, Pierre Gasly. The atmosphere was so toxic, their families couldn't even be in the same paddock without beef. Outcome? You already know how that ends. Monaco 2024, lap 1, collision.
And as we see the two Alpines, there's another incident out there then, as two Alpines get into each other. And once again, you've got Gasly's been wrong-footed, hasn't he?
But just when you think, okay, surely this is rock bottom, the universe says, oh buddy, we're just getting started. Because the next guy, he didn't just crash. He didn't just ruin races. He turned driving in a straight line into a high-risk activity.
It's that move. We're focusing. Oh, that's really close once again.
Now, listen, I've roasted this man so many times, I almost forgot. He actually showed some potential during testing in 2021. Yeah, briefly. Like, reflexes? Dude looked like a cat chasing a laser pointer. But anyway, we all kind of knew the learning curve was going to be vertical. Patience was key. Too bad F1 doesn't really give you much of that, because the moment the season actually started, that patience, gone. Vaporized. FP2, spin. FP3, another spin. Quali, hamster wheel. Race? Dude, you've spun 3 times in 2 days. Please tell me you've learned something. Anything, like basic throttle control.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He got a bit trigger happy with the throttle and went off and had his own accident.
Bože moi. I mean, at least his debut race was better than Hadjar's. At least he's been improving race by race, unlike Nikita. Mate, not even one full race had gone by, and people were already acting like every single mess on track was Mazepin's fault. Now that I think about it, Nikita, coincidence? I don't think so. And wait, don't forget about the Russian pushing Q3 on FP1. Anyway, after what we could call clean races for him in Portugal and Spain, a part of me genuinely believed, well, tried to convince myself that in Monaco, maybe, just maybe, Mazepin could deliver. Never making that error again. The season just kept getting worse. You could hear it on the team radio. His engineer calmly asking him to press a button, and my guy, well...
I cannot do it, man, you're having a laugh.
And afterwards, yeah, he just casually said he wanted a brand new car built from scratch.
So what we need to do?
At this moment, I think that the most beneficial way that we can do it is by trying to make a different car for me.
Who are you, Elon Musk? What a spoiled brat. Then came Baku, where bro almost killed his own teammate right before the finish line.
What the f was that, honestly? Seriously?
Astonishing, huh? And if you thought this behavior was new, you don't remember this. Which gets me thinking, it's strange to say, but if the whole political situation hadn't escalated, there's a real chance Mazepin could have still been on the grid. But here's the thing, F1 has always had room for drivers like that. Guys who show up, wreck shop, and somehow still get a second chance. But what if I told you there was someone even worse? Someone who didn't need a scandal, didn't need politics. Just pure, unfiltered incompetence and a very rich sponsor, Ricardo Rosset. I don't blame you if you don't remember his name. I mean, he's quite forgettable.
Oh, look at that Ricardo Rosset, you fool! Do you not use your eyesight? Do you not realize that there are waves? Yellow flags around the circuit. Have you not read your rulebook?
He started karting at 22, which in racing terms is retirement age. After some Formula Ford and British F3, he somehow finished runner-up in Formula 3000, and that's pretty much where the hype train stopped. But slap a big wallet and some shiny family sponsorship on it, and suddenly, meh, turns into must-watch prospect. And that's how he bought his way into Arrows for the 96 season. Did he impress? No. Then came 97, another shot, this time with Lola. Did he impress? Nah, it was even worse. Man didn't even qualify for the season opener in Australia. So yeah, by 1998, his credibility was already hanging by a thread. But hey, Tyrrell was desperate, and Rosset still had a checkbook, which brings us to Monaco. So qualifying kicks off, and Rosset is already skating on thin ice. I have to say, that car was as mid as Ferrari's best strategy, sure, but man, you still had a seat in Monaco. The one place where you're actually supposed to pretend you're a professional. And well, I don't even know how to describe what happened next, but I'll try. Suddenly, the cameras turned to him after flying past turn 5 like the brakes were optional.
That is Ricardo Rosset, the Brazilian driver in the Tyrrell. He unsurprisingly is last. He's nearly 6 seconds off the pace.
Throws it in reverse like he's backing out of a parking spot, then carries on. Just a little oops moment, right? Well, not even 30 seconds later, this happened.
I mean, that car of... here's that. Rosset. Oh no, what's he doing? He somehow has got that car running, Luke.
He's decided he's going to get it back to the garage the short way.
Can someone explain how is that even possible? It's like someone falling down the stairs, landing on their feet, and then jumping into the void for no reason. Now, this wasn't a one-off. The guy had 33 F1 starts and didn't score a single point, and yet somehow got hired multiple times. I guess it helps when you've got Safra Bank and Lycra funding your disaster show. At least, was he even likable? Not completely. Always complaining. Blamed the car, the setup, the team, never himself. Even claimed Tyrrell gave Takagi, which I forgot to say was a rookie, the good parts and sabotaged him. Rosset wasn't just slow, he was delusional. But if there's one man who took delusional to a whole new level, it's this next guy. Let's travel back to the 2001 Hungarian GP. A normal race weekend for most of us, but not for one spectator. Kano Kniseny, a successful real estate businessman from Budapest. As he sat in the grandstand, he switched gears in his mind. New dream, race in F1. And like every billionaire fantasy, it came true. Most dreamers' stories begin with karting trophies, junior formulas, and years of grinding. Not Kano. He was 38 and ready to drop everything for this wild new goal. Let's be real, nobody just goes to a race and leaves thinking, just do it! But yeah, bro did. And 4 years later, he was in Minardi. For those who don't say money doesn't buy happiness.
We are immensely proud today to be in Israel to be signing the first ever Israeli test driver in Formula One.
But how did he get there? By 2002, he was in Hungarian F2000, won it in the next year. Then straight to Formula 3000, no questions asked. By 2004, he was knocking on Jordan's door. A businessman racing in his 40s. What could possibly go wrong? Anyway, after some tests with them and Minardi, he would complete the laps needed in order to get his super license. The reward? FP1 at Hungary on his 42nd birthday. The track? Hot. The paddock? Confused. His pace? 134.319, almost 13 seconds off the fastest lap. Yep, 13 seconds. Like Friday the 13th. The joke writes itself. And then, if that wasn't enough, my guy beaches the car and red flags the session. Now, usually you hop out, not Canuck. He forgot how to remove the steering wheel, so the marshals had to lift the entire car with him still inside. How do you reach the top and not know that? Dude got exposed. But hey, at least he's proud. He still flexes that moment like it was a podium. An inspirational story for the ages. Almost as inspirational as Crash Door Maldonado. A name that strikes the fear into the hearts of marshals, mechanics, and probably every insurance company in Europe.
Loses the chance to give Williams their best points finish in a long time.
Berg's party trick up the hill, and it was.
And coming across the track today.
It blows my mind that this guy has an F1 win, and not a range-shortened lottery, not a reverse grid mess. He actually beat Alonso on pure pace in Spain 2012. 66 laps of clean, composed, elite driving. And you know what? For a moment, it felt like we were witnessing a new underdog era, but this was only a mirage. To put it simply, Maldonado had more DNFs than some drivers had finishes. In fact, across just 5 seasons in F1, he had 33 retirements out of 95 race starts, amounting to a retirement rate of approximately 34.7%. That's sky high. That's literally a Maldonado crash list trademark floating online, like an actual Wikipedia of incidents caused by him. But do you want to know what was peak Maldonado? Let's rewind to 2014 Bahrain. Esteban Gutierrez is mid-corner, minding his own business. Then, out of nowhere, boom! Pastor sends him airborne like it's a GTA mod. The car literally flips and lands after a million pieces fly everywhere. And Pastor drives off like nothing happened. Probably thought, he'll be fine, it's just a backflip. Only Crash Door can make that much mess from one little bump. But that was just a warm-up, because 2 weeks later, in China, Pastor showed us he doesn't need other cars to cause chaos. He's a one-man demolition crew. Free practice 1. He's on a casual run. Then mid-corner, while fiddling with buttons on the steering wheel, he spins. No contact, no pressure, just pure self-sabotage. He's in his 3rd season, still out here getting defeated by his own steering wheel. Then comes FP2. And this one's art. He's entering the pit lane, and he just crashes. Hits the inside wall like he's trying to do a pit lane speed run into retirement.
I crash.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
You ever see someone mess up parking so badly you just have to stand there in disbelief? That was the entire Lotus garage, but instead of rage, they laughed. They actually laughed. The camera's cut to the mechanics watching the replay, and they're giggling, like, yeah, of course he did that. Classic Maldo. At that point, it wasn't even frustration anymore, it was acceptance. Maldonado didn't need other drivers to ruin weekends. You never know when his race, or quali, or even practice is going to end. And speaking of chaos, Pastor caused mayhem, but at least he had moments. A win, a pole, speed, when the stars aligned. You could almost justify the destruction, but this next man, he was so out of his depth, the FIA had to physically intervene just to stop him from turning the grid into a public safety hazard. And you know what they say, life moves fast and if you blink, you miss it. Yeah, that's Ide's F1 career. In 2006, Super Aguri wanted to make history by fielding an all-Japanese team. So who did they call? Goku and Vegeta? Naruto and Sasuke? Ash and Pikachu? Nope. The great Takuma Sato and our friend. Not because of lap times, but because he was friends with the boss. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't help your homies, but this guy went straight from driving Formula Nippon to hopping into the fastest cars on Earth. Let's start with Bahrain. His debut qualified 21st out of 22, and the only reason he wasn't dead last was because Kimi didn't even run in quali, so technically he was last. Next up, Malaysia. Starts 18th, which almost looked promising compared to Bahrain, right? Another DNF, another mechanical issue. I mean, we can't blame him. A mechanical issue's usually not your fault. Oh boy, just wait and see what he cooked. Australia was special. During qualifying, Ide spun a little number of 6 times. Then he ran off the track, got stuck in the gravel, and couldn't even reverse. And because of that, he caused a full red flag during quali. In the race though, he managed to finish P13. Now, that's an improvement, isn't it? Sounds decent until you realize everyone behind him literally DNF'd. He didn't beat anyone. They just removed themselves from the scoreboard. But I mean, last place in your first races in your first year, that's kinda normal. Hold up and wait for him, Imola. Ide tapped Christian Albers at the start, and by tapped, I mean launched the guy into a full-blown barrel roll. Albers flipped 5 times.
Oh, there we go,
down. Albers. Yeah, Albers, you see rolling the car.
He should be okay in that, although you never want to roll over into the gravel trap. That's at the exit of the Villeneuve chicane where Rosberg crashed. And the reason that the gravel trap's so nasty.
I still can't believe this man turned a car into a fidget spinner. The Japanese driver later apologized to Albers, but the vibe in the paddock was already full on, get this guy out of here. And the FIA stepped in like a disappointed teacher, said he needed more experience, and took his super license. So the team had to ditch him for the next race at the Nürburgring. He didn't just spin or crash, he got nerfed out of the championship. And if you think that's the bottom of the barrel, get comfortable, because the next guy didn't crash out, he just drove unbelievably slow. So slow, the FIA changed the damn rules to make sure no one like him could ever enter F1 again. The only man who made F1 fans say, wow, even Latifi would smoke this guy, Jean-Denis Delatraz. Look, Delatraz wasn't just slow, he was James May speed slow. Sorry, James. And I'm not even exaggerating. In his very first F1 race at Adelaide in '94, the man got lapped for the first time on lap 9. Not even double digits. 9. And yeah, he got lapped again, and again, and again. To put it simply, Jean-Denis Delatraz was a blue flag with legs, or tires, a permanent obstacle. And before anyone says, hey, maybe it was just one bad day. Nope. Because he came back, somehow, like a horror sequel no one wanted. Fast forward to 1995, Portugal and Nürburgring, and it somehow got worse. The man finished the race in Germany 7 laps behind, and people called it a win. Bro crossed the line like it was an Ironman triathlon. 7 laps down. In modern day F1, if you're lapped twice, you're already getting roasted on X. But 7, that's insane. And yeah, he wasn't just slow, he was actively dangerous. I mean, being a moving chicane in an F1 race is low-key a safety risk. The leaders had to constantly dodge him like they were on a third world country street, and he was the potholes. But here's the wildest part. This guy is the reason we got the 107% rule. For real. After watching Delatraz casually get lapped 10 times like it was part of his warm-up routine, the FIA finally said, alright, no more of this mess. They introduced the 107% rule in 1996, basically saying if you're too slow to be in the same zip code as pole position, you're not racing. And hey, if you ever feel useless, just remember Jean-Denis got 3 F1 starts. At the end, maybe the dumbest part of all, is that it took a man getting lapped 10 times for F1 to finally say, alright, we need to fix this. So yeah, from mobile chicanes to pit lane war crimes, we've seen it all. F1 may be the pinnacle of motorsport, but sometimes it also produces the absolute dumbest imaginable. And the wildest part, it somehow keeps getting worse. If you like this video, you'll love this drama. Go click it. I'll see you there. And as always, thank you for watching.